everybody. First up will be center Logan Osburn.
It's a challenge for you this week, knowing that Coach Evans said we still don't have a starter for a quarterback. So what's the challenge for you, making sure that the offensive line, everybody's on the right page?
I mean, I think we've done a pretty good job of just getting the right people in on the rotation and our starting five. And it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's back there. We got to do our jobs to make sure he can do his. Whether it's Braylon, whether it's Stone, Cole, it don't matter who's behind us. We got to protect them.
Look, obviously last year I know Albany came in, gave you guys some fits. Is that part of your speech, if you will, to some of the younger guys that, it's the opening game, everybody's got new players, be serious about it?
Yeah, for sure. We got to focus on this week. We can't think ahead next week or the next 2 weeks. We got to focus on us. And at the end of the day, it comes down to our fundamentals. We got to rely back on that because we really, honestly, we don't know what they're going to do. They got a new head coach. They got a new OC and DC. We've been looking at their previous schemes, but they can come in and be like, hey, we don't have the personnel to do that scheme. So they could throw something totally different at us. So at the end of the day, we just got to go back on our fundamentals and what we've been coached to do.
It feel good to turn the page to prepping for somebody else. Is there a mental shift when that happens, or is it kind of just like finally?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a different momentum. You kind of flip the switch of hey, instead of focusing so much on us, we got to focus on our opponent. We got to focus on our game plan and how we're going to attack each and every day, whether it's from the meetings, walkthroughs to practice. We got to turn it up a notch just in our preparation.
Look, with so many new guys for you guys too, can you kind of let the fans know some of the offensive guys that you've watched and that you guys have worked out with that may, kind of excite them on Saturdays?
Yeah, I think our receivers are doing a heck of a job. Coach Dotson has really coached those guys up. I think Elijah Metcalf is going to be a special player. I think Christian Fitzpatrick is going to be a special player. And I like our QB room a lot. I like all three guys. They're all talented, smart guys. With Braylon, you can kind of see he's more mobile. And Stone is, he's athletic as well. Cole's more of a true pocket passer, but, he's got a cannon for an arm. And I think, just what we've added to this room, I've seen a lot more depth, not only just for wide receivers to our O-line. Like, I think this is the most depth we've ever had in our offensive line room since I've been here. Just guys that we can confidently throw in and know that they can go do their job. Yeah.
What goes through your mind when you're standing in the tunnel, getting ready to run out for that first game? Obviously you get 12 opportunities to do that every year. This is your last go-around in college. What do you anticipate going on inside your head at that moment?
I think I'm going to take each moment a little bit more serious, just really reel it in, experience everything. In the past, you kind of just go out there, you're focused on the opponent. I think this year's more like you kind of look around, you're like, wow, this is my last one. So I think just enjoying it more. I'm spending more time in the locker room more than I ever have, just because I know those moments they're coming up. So just honing in on those moments that you don't necessarily take advantage of as you're a younger player.
When you start to look at that film on Stony Brook's defense, does anything stand out to you? Any players, schematically, anything they do stand out to you?
Yeah, I think they got two captains on their defensive line, and number 10, he's going to be their nose guard. I think he's a good player. He reminds me of a lot of guys I've played in the past that are just like not necessarily over athletic, but they do their job. They're very smart, technical when it comes to their technique. No situational football. They got a couple guys. They just got some guys that I think give great effort every play. They're not going to wow you in size or speed, but they're going to go out there and they're going to give you their all. So I think they got some guys for sure.
Anything further for Logan?
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Logan. All right, everybody. Next up, we'll have running back Ethan Payne. Questions?
Obviously, a different-looking team this year, but just how excited are you to get going? You finally turn the page, and it's game prep, game week. Is that a different feeling than it has been all off season?
Yeah. really excited, especially going to my last year. Really excited. Going out there one last time in the first game. It was like yesterday. I was a freshman getting ready to go to Navy. So, it's a different feeling this year.
Ethan, you were here last year, obviously, when Albany came in. They gave you guys some trouble. Any lessons to learn from that and to pass on to some of the younger guys or transfers who weren't here to see that?
Yeah, definitely respect your opponent. Last year I don't think we respected Albany that much, but definitely we took a different approach this year about respecting Stony Brook.
Obviously, some different faces in that running back room. Kind of give me an idea what each of those guys bring to the table. I know there's a variety of skill sets there, and guys that are new and guys that have been here a few years, but just kind of walk me through what each of those guys bring.
Yeah, so we have a really diverse running back room. We got Jordan, a fast twitch guy. We got AJ, hard runner downhill, can make guys miss, and got me get the hard nosed yards too. So they're very diverse running back room.
Being a veteran now, does it help you knowing that you have an opponent that you might not know exactly what they're going to do? They're going to be new look as well. So as a veteran, does it help you going into a game plan knowing that something might change? I'm equipped for that. I know what I'm doing.
Yes, definitely. Coach Huff talks about just relying on our technique and fundamentals, and that would set you free. So that's definitely the point this week.
There's been a lot of talk about culture and family atmosphere this offseason. Has it felt different from a player's perspective?
Yes, definitely. This is the most tight of a team I've been a part of this year. We're hanging out with each other outside of the facility. Everybody's going to each other's houses, hanging out. So definitely a lot different from previous years.
Does that help on game day?
Yeah, it helps on game day too, because you can rely on the guy next to you. You know what he's been through. He knows what you've been through, so it really helps.
Is it good to have your brother back?
Yeah, it's really good having my brother back. Last year, unfortunately got hurt, and I would come home from games, like away games, he'd just be sitting on the couch, got the sad face on. But now he's up, and I'm really looking forward to playing with him this year.
You guys are both identified as leaders.
Yeah.
How's that changed?
Not really changed much, but I always thought myself as a leader, so it really hasn't changed much.
Ethan, whoever coach calls on to start Saturday at quarterback, can you talk about the three that are in it and what they bring to the table offensively?
Yeah, we got three great quarterbacks. Doesn't matter who starts. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, the offense is offense. They definitely bring each one brings a different game to the table. Cole's a pocket passer. Braylon likes to move around, run, throw, and Stone's really athletic. So.
Anything further for Ethan? All right.
Appreciate it.
Next up, we've got defensive back J.J. Roberts.
What's the challenge for you this week, knowing you've got a team that you might not necessarily have real film on, new coach, high octane, background. So what's the challenge for you this week trying to get ready for this?
It's always hard at the beginning of the season to kind of gauge, in a season opener, like what your opponent's going to do, and especially in this case when, new head coach, and you can't really watch Stony Brook's offense from last year because obviously they're not going to be, as far as we know, they're not going to be running the same offense. So it's definitely a bit of a challenge, but I think our coaches have a good game plan. I think we're going to be really prepared for the game.
You kind of bring a new energy when you turn in. You come in Tuesday and it's all right. Stony Brook's up. It's no longer about install, and does it bring a new energy to preparation?
Yeah. I definitely think it does, just because we are actually going to be playing a game on Saturday. The past month and some change, we've like you said, been installing and doing all that other stuff, and more so just focusing on us. Now we get to focus on an opponent, which is definitely fun and exhilarating to do.
JJ, a little bit lower level FCS, but you remember Albany last year and the trouble they gave you. Do you kind of send that message out to the new guys, the transfers, and the younger guys and say, hey, it's in this day and time, don't take the opener for granted against anybody?
Yeah, no, definitely Albany was an awakening for all of us. I mean, I knew that they had good players coming into the game, but we definitely did kind of go into that game a little bit slow and unexpected. So we're definitely not sleeping on Stony Brook this year, especially with the new coach and all the new players that they brought in. So it might just be a whole entirely different team. So.
Is there anybody that, from what you do know about Stony Brook, that maybe stands out to you?
I would say they have a good receiving core. A local guy, Chance, he's from Capital. He's also a good player. He transferred there from VMI. But I definitely think they have a good receiving core. That's what stands out to me most.
Did you ever play against Chance?
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Huff had talked about the new technology where the coaches can talk to somebody on offense and defense. He said he hadn't decided whether it's going to be a safety or a linebacker, so just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
We've been practicing throughout camp. I've had one in mind throughout camp, but obviously we don't know who it's going to be during the game. I don't know exactly what the rules are on all of that, but I think it would be pretty cool, to have the headset in, and I don't know if it's like a second count on it when the play ends, but it's definitely been cool throughout camp getting that experience and having the headset in my head and the mic in my ears. So.
Who's been talking to you on defense?
Coach Seymour, our defensive coordinator. Okay. So mostly gives calls and then other stuff if he has it. Okay. So.
Have you noticed a difference in Seymour going into year 2 versus year 1 when it was kind of, all right, well, we've got these pieces here that can do this, but now it seems like to have his actual fingerprint on it?
Yeah, he's definitely getting back. I think he's doing more so what he wants to get into. It's hard first year for a D coordinator to come in and switch up everything. So I think it's going to be more catered to his scheme than, the year before he was here. So I think it's going to be really good, and the stuff that he has in is also really good.
Just to throw it back for you personally with this one, you mentioned playing Chance in high school, and also I think they've got a wide receiver from Wake, don't they? That you might have played with too.
Yeah,
so
he does.
Does that sort of, when you're looking for comparisons between teams, does that sort of lock you all in a little bit more just because of the familiarity of it for guys like you and Logan?
Honestly, I think I go into every game pretty locked in regardless of who I'm playing. It could be Stony Brook or it could be the New York Giants. I'm going to go into the game the same way I do every week, prepared. But, they're Chance and Des, really good players. Got a chance to play against Chance in high school, and he was good then. And I'm excited for the game coming up Saturday.
All right, everybody. We got defensive end Mike Green. Raise your hand.
What's the challenge for you this week? You've got a team with a new coach, new philosophy, new everything. So maybe not the traditional game plan for you, but what's the challenge and how do you approach it?
I think the biggest challenge right now is trying to put a name and face on what they may and may not do. With them having a whole bunch of new coaches and 40-plus new players, I think it's going to be a little difficult to try to scheme up what they could probably do. We're trying to play our fundamental football strategies and trying to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and then that will lead us to make plays and figure out if if you got a certain key or something like that, we're just reading our keys. We're not going to try to read up what the offense may or may not do in certain formations and stuff like that.
Michael, you remember last year with Albany, they had a quarterback he played lights out, just to be honest. Is that kind of a lesson learned, and you can tell the younger guys, hey, don't overlook them just because they're FCS?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a lesson learned. I know now, college football, it's a whole bunch of transfers and all these kind of dudes coming from every single sort and place. And I feel like it brings a little bit more energy to football, and definitely for more teams to have a little bit more exposure from these guys that are bringing talent to these lower division and lower conferences schools. And, I think we definitely learned a good lesson, and we're not going to play down to our competition.
How beneficial is it to open the year at home, no matter who it's against, but you kind of have that built-in energy. Yeah. Fans are ready to see you guys, and you guys are ready to play. Does that energy kind of carry over into the game?
Yeah, home field advantage is a thing. I think when you're playing in the town that you live at, it brings a lot of more energy. It brings a lot of more focus. You wanna be thinking about the right things. So the people that are around you, or everybody, this whole town loves you, and they're there to support you. So I definitely feel like it brings some advantage in every single type of form or way. And I think that with that being said, like, yeah, it definitely is a difference.
As your game plan, anybody stand out from what you do know about Stony Brook, personnel-wise, what they do have coming back? Maybe what you know who's coming in, anything stand out to you?
Yeah, so I broke down their O-line last night, all the guys that I'm going to be going against. They moved a lot of guys around, so some guys that was playing tackle last year is playing guard. I know one of the guards is playing center this year. I think number 65 he's playing the right guard. He's their returner that has a little bit more experience than the rest of the O-line. He's the dude that I think played in all 10 games. And I know they got a few more new dudes that could bring their own kind of energy and their own talent to the table. So, yeah, I think that with them having a lot of new guys, they can all bring their sorts and talent to the team.
Coach was talking to us about just the approach to captains, and it's a little bit different with this team because you've got that leadership group. What's that like to be a part of?
I feel like it's great. It holds you accountable. You don't want to be like, hey man, like I need you to be on time and you're not on time. So I think like for me personally, it helped me in the long run just because you like I said, like they can just hold you more accountable. Even though you're holding other people accountable, you're holding yourself accountable. And I feel like for me, that was very important for me this year is I want to hold other people accountable while being accountable. And for as far as like the leadership and that we have here, it's more of a influence. You probably heard Coach Huff say that before. We all kind of have our own kind of influence to the team in some kind of way that's in the leadership committee. And it's not like – it's more so not of trying to tell people what to do, like because that's kind of like the way some people see leaders. Is more of well, I'm going to run 100 miles per hour. I'm going to run 100 miles per hour. Like I hope the guy that's right next to me is going to run 100 miles per hour just because he see like a guy that's considered a leader running that fast. He wants to go fast. So it's more of influence than actually trying to direct and tell guys do this and do that type of thing.
Lots of different bodies in that defensive line group. Yeah. Who are you most excited about because of the progress they've made this offseason?
I'm most excited about Jabari Ishmael. He's going to be at the other side of me. He came a long way. He transferred from Miami. Didn't really see much playing time there. Last year, he didn't really see much playing time here. He brings a level of focus and communication skills that you could even imagine. I would say even more and better than me when it comes down to breaking down things schematically and communicating who's where and what and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like he's going to be able to create a lot of value for himself simply because of they're going to be I would assume that most teams are going to try to be focused on me a little bit more than whoever's at the other end spot. So it gives him a lot of opportunities to eat.
Anything further from Mike?
Everybody's kind of got their own pregame rituals, routines that they get into. What's something that you try and do before every game to kind of get yourself focused?
I try to read. I normally hit a hot tub that's in the hotel. I don't know if we're supposed to do that or not, but I go to the hot tub. I read. I try to clear my mind. Like I know a lot of guys go into game day trying to focus on football and all that other kind of stuff. I'm like the complete opposite. I don't want to be thinking about football as much when it comes down to pregame. And then when we hit the facility, that's when I'm like, all right, I'm dialed in. I'm locked in on everything I got to do. But even like the night before, I just stretch, roll out, those kind of things, get some treatment. But when it comes down to like watching film and all that kind of stuff, I do that throughout the week. So I wouldn't really have to focus on it that much when it gets to game day and pregame day.